Scrooge is here, ready to make some money with today's game, Wall Street Kid, for your Nintendo, and I really dig this comic book cover style box art. Use it or lose it. Let's go ahead and take Wall Street Kid. Let's go ahead and pop it in my NES and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. My hero! Wall Street Kid was published by Sofel and was released in 1990. The manual opens with the following, where life, love, and money all depend on the way you play the game. You are the Wall Street Kid, playing in a world of high risks and big rewards. You can inherit billions, but not until you fulfill the family legacy. The name of the game is how well you play the stock market. Well, I thought the name of the game was Wall Street Kid. Oh, I digress. But be sure to make wise investments because you may endanger your health and love life, and even worse, lose the game. Wall Street Kid is a stock market life simulator game for one player only and only has one standard mode of difficulty. You start the game having just inherited the Benedict fortune, but in order to fully receive it, you must be able to maintain your health, a marriage, and be able to earn enough money in the stock market to buy $1 million home, a $700,000 yacht, and purchase the family castle at an auction. In order to jumpstart your quest, you are given $500,000. The vast majority of the game takes place in your office using a point-and-click style of gameplay. Every day you start by reading the newspaper, which can give you stock tips along with some other helpful information. You can reread the paper by clicking on it later. You can click on the computer to buy and sell stocks, get stock information, and look at your portfolio. You could click on the flower pot to spend time with your fiance and later wife, or click on what the manual calls a barometer, but what looks like a smaller computer on the right, which will allow you to exercise. Your game can end if you neglect your health or your marriage too much. You also hurt either one if you pick an activity that the paper warned you about, such as going to the carnival while the rides are breaking down. Also, some activities take longer than others. Every 7 seconds or so, 15 minutes pass, but doing almost any action in the game will take a certain amount of time off the clock. For instance, going to the carnival or for a hike will take the whole day and must be selected first thing in the morning. But because they take so much time, they are also most likely some of the most beneficial activities for both your health and relationship. On the bottom left are 3 icons. The money sign takes you to Ruth the banker at the bank. If you purchase the $1 million home, you could use it as collateral to get an $800,000 loan. However, after a month, you must pay back $840,000. You can also go to the bank to pay off your loan if you have one, or to pay for your castle after you won it at the auction. Clicking on the question mark will bring you to Stanley. For $500, Stanley will explain some basic tips in buying and selling stocks and playing the game. Basically, he tells you what you should have learned in the manual, but honestly, the manual isn't the greatest. Clicking on the exclamation point will bring you to Connie. On some days, she will have a hot stock tip for you, but it will cost you $1,000, and her tips aren't always that accurate. Whenever you want to end a day, you simply click on the clock. Your basic work week goes from Monday through Friday. Sometimes on the weekend you will have extra activities to do, such as buying a home or buying something for your fiance/wife to keep her happy. One thing to point out is that if you're doing something on the weekend that requires cash, you need to have it in hand. That means by Friday you will need to sell some stocks to make sure you have enough money to use. Once a week has been completed, you are given a long and complicated password. The whole game takes place during a 4-month period. However, some activities must be completed during a certain time frame. For instance, if you don't buy your $1 million home by the end of the first month, your game is over. Also, you don't work on holidays, and you need to take a week off for your honeymoon when you get married in the middle of the game. However, during this time, your stocks will keep working for you, although you can't buy or sell any during this time. The auction scene can be confusing, so allow me to try and help you if you make it that far. You must have enough cash to put 10% down, so if the castle gets sold for $5 million, you must have at least $500,000 on you. The game recommends you bring at least $1 million with you. However, it is possible that the more money you bring with you, that the computer will make the castle go for a higher auction price. To bid, you press the A button and enter your amount. The opening bid will start at $2 million. After you make the opening bid, you should only bid if someone else bids higher. And when you do, you should only bid $10,000 more than what they did. No matter what, you need to win the castle to win the game. If you win the castle and then pay off the remainder of what you owe by the end of the month, you do officially win. Graphically speaking, the game has some nice cutscenes, but for most of the game you'll be staring at a bland office which fits in a small portion of the screen. The game does have some decent music, but it does repeat a lot. Family friendly wise, the game would most likely get an E for everyone rating if released today, although it probably wouldn't appeal to younger gamers. At the time I researched on eBay including shipping, loose copies were going for $7 to $12, complete copies were going for $23 to $28, and one new copy sold for $55. So what did I think of Wall Street Kid? At first I found the game frustrating. I would pick a recommended stock, hold it for a week, make some money, and pick another stock the following week, make some more money, but by the end of the month I wouldn't have enough to buy the house, so my game would end. Even when I paid Connie for stock tips, I still couldn't make enough, so I changed my strategy. Basically, I'd buy the top hot stock listed in the newspaper and hold it until a new stock took its place. I'd also mix in some hiking and carnival dates. And then I was rolling in the dough. However, the first time I reached the auction, I found it confusing and ended up bidding over myself. But despite this, my new strategy worked and I can now run through the whole game in under an hour. However, I still had a problem with the fact that the game is overall fairly boring. This is most likely due to the fact that simply buying and selling stocks is not that exciting, and might explain why there haven't been very many stock market-based simulator games out there. Also, this game has one of the worst password systems I've ever encountered. I will say that some of the cutscenes were nice, and I like to spoof company names like Rattel Toys or Carnivore Cruise Lines, but not enough to recommend this game or to want to play it again. So where am I going to rank Wall Street Kid? I'm afraid it's going fairly low, near the bottom of my rankings. I'm looking in the 40s. I would rather play Saycross again at 46, but I will put this over Win, Lose, or Draw at 47. So out of the 50 games I've now ranked for the NES, Wall Street Kid is landing in the red at the 47th position. If you really enjoy reading the Wall Street Journal, then you might like Wall Street Kid, but my guess is that most gamers would not enjoy this one very much. But that is only my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please click like and subscribe, follow me on the Facebook and the Twitter, and check out some of my many other videos covering retro video games, toys, mini arcades, plug and plays, and more. At this time, I'd like to thank Michael T for supporting the show on Patreon. Thank you, Michael. You too can help support the show, gain access to exclusive content, and be able to vote on future games I review by signing up at patreon.com/NoSwearGamer. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care and go on a carnivore cruise this summer. Because I have stock in the company, I need to buy my wife a new dress for her dinner party later.